All right, Space Jam. What we got, bro?
Oh man, Space Jam: New Legacy. LeBron James' first, well, not his first film, but it basically his biggest film debut yet. Okay, so the problem with Space Jam: New Legacy, when the first Space Jam came out, this was at the peak of basketball, right? You had Michael Jordan, you had Charles, you had all these superstars in the 90s, and we were in a basketball frenzy. And the Looney Tunes was still relevant in the 90s. Um, me and you, we caught those reruns to know. We were
Facts.
able to watch Tiny Toons Adventures. They had new episodes of a younger generation of, the Looney Tunes. And I think we had Looney Tune Baby. Like, there was like, you had a plethora of exposure to the Looney Tunes. And then you had basketball combined into one entity, and you got one commercial, highly entity, pretty much made just to be a commercial, and you had Space Jam. The problem with Space Jam: New Legacy is that the Looney Tunes are no longer relevant in society, and the film actually kind of acknowledges that. And basketball is not at its peak in terms of, I guess, mainstream popularity as it was when Jordan took over the game. Um, it's just not hitting the right chords. Like, the first movie is not a good movie. It's a bad movie.
It
Make no
is.
mistake about it. Make no mistake about it, you know?
It is. And as much as people want to pretend that Space Jam was this classic masterpiece of a movie, it was none of that at all.
Right, right. And I think the difference here is the timing of when these films were released, and that Michael Jordan had some assists from other actors. He had Bill Murray. I
Mm-hmm.
think the voice acting was better for the Looney Tunes. He had more bit of a. This feels like LeBron James is trying to carry it more on his own, and he's just not an act. I know Michael Jordan's act. He didn't. Even, I get that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't try, but that film still kind of has a charm to it. I don't see the same aspect for this film. It takes, like, this is like a 2 hour movie, man. This is, I don't know why they decided to make Space Jam a 2 hour movie, but they did. And
It's
it's way
not
too
fair to
long.
LeBron. Not fair to LeBron, bro.
Nah, man. It took like 40 minutes just to get to. It took like 35, 40 minutes just to see the Looney Tunes. It took forever. It took forever to get to the game. Um, so the basic storyline is this: Warner Brothers has an app, or basically an algorithm played by Don Cheadle. I forgot, Money G or something like that. So basically, plays a algorithm that shows and pitches ideas to Warner Brothers, and he pitches like LeBron James having his own DC universe type shit. And LeBron says, "This is stupid. I'm not doing this." He pitches it to him, and at the Warner Studios. And so the CPU is like, "Well, I'm the greatest thing since sliced to you, LeBron." And he finds a way to basically lure LeBron James' kid to the basement, sucks them into the Warnerverse. They're basically the internet verse. LeBron's son is a gamer. He's not into basketball. LeBron James wants him to get into basketball because, he's all about the fundamentals. And when he grew up, it was
Oh
no work, no
man.
play, no distractions. And yeah, it's just a bad children's film. They try to spice it up. They know the Looney Tunes are not no longer, so LeBron has to get his other teammates, and Bugs Bunny kind of tricks him because the Looney Tunes have left Looney Tune World, the Looney Tune server. So you have like Daffy Duck and Porky Pig are in the DC universe server. So they go over there, and the animation style 90s uh Bruce Timm style of the 90s cartoon. So you see
Okay.
Superman and Batman in that version, and Daffy Duck and their animation changes to that style per se.
So they, oh man, bro,
You see what they did?
they really tried to do it Into the Spider Verse. They really tried to do that. Like,
Yeah, like an Enter the Spider Verse and like a Ready Player One for cameos.
oh
For
man,
cameos.
yeah, for the cross branding, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
know, yeah, I know that we got the Flintstones and all of that shit too, right?
There's thousands of cameos in this movie.
Now I like that, but are they
Yeah, it's cool.
wasted?
It's wasted. I mean, there's some cool moments. They go to the Matrix. Speedy Gonzalez is there. They go to Themyscira and Lola Bunny's. Wherever world they go to, they kind of transfer visual style that they're going into. But they're basically cameos, and they just showcase this is Warner Brothers, and this is all the stuff they own. They own Harry. They own Game of Thrones. They own this. They own that, and it's like basically for all the properties that they have. And then when they actually have the game, it's like an open invitation to anyone to get in the seats. So that's when you see the Flintstones and Iron Giant. And they had Mr. Freeze, the Arnold Schwarzenegger. They had Pennywise the clown. They had a Clockwork Orange.
Oh,
They had so many. They looked like they had so many of the Warner owned characters on the sidelines, rooting and cheering and all this other shit.
so
So
this movie was an advertisement for Warner Media
yeah, for HBO Max essentially and Warner Media is
because
advertisement.
nobody because most people, at least going off of what I know, most people did not go to see Ready Player One.
No, not really. Mm-mm.
Okay, I know I didn't. I know that I didn't. I didn't go to see Ready Player One. So
I went to see Ready Player One. I was one of the few that went to see it. So yeah, there's a lot of cameos. You got Batman, so they're filling up the seats and they're watching. You know, it's who can you spot in the background. They even got the what are those the ice guys from Game of Thrones? What are they called?
the
The
White
Ice
Walkers.
Walkers, the White Walkers. They're in there. They're in the background
Oh
cheering.
goodness, what does this got to do with fucking basketball?
It's the serververse. It's Algae Money. It's the algorithm. He has this plan to make LeBron James into HBO Max, and LeBron James said no. And I'll show you. I'll make a basketball game and put your son's life on. And we're gonna do it video game style. The mix up with this one was this is video game style. So there's style points, there's power ups. It's not just
Ah,
playing regular basketball. They put the video game element, which is fine. They spice it up. They put the video game element to the basketball. The
it
whole
was
thing
NBA Street. It was NBA Street.
is NBA Street meets NBA Jam meets 2021 Sensibility.
Mm-hmm.
So the Looney Tunes got a makeover just because they needed the makeover. He's like, you guys look outdated. He changed. He changes them up to do the CGI look, changed up the uniforms, and there's a little bit of a commentary about how basically the Looney Tunes aren't relevant. The reason why the Looney empty and Bugs Bunny's the only one there because Algae Money moved them to put them to different servers to update them or to cross
Mm-hmm.
brand them. So there's a little meta commentary that the Looney Tunes are no longer, and the movie doesn't do a good job of showcasing why they still could be relevant.
Mm-mm-mm.
Um, so yeah, it's basically LeBron James learns to have fun and loosens up. The Toon Squad are down like 1,000 points by halftime, and then they get style points. They have fun, and the Sun jumps ship from the Goon Squad to the Toon Squad, and they do all these points and tricks and all this different kind of stuff, and they win the game. And Algae Money's serververse never gets made, and that's the movie.
Oh,
There's only one joke that landed the whole thing. There was only one joke that was actually made me bust out laughing.
mm-hmm.
Uh, it was halftime, and they were down, and then Daffy Duck comes in and says, I found him," and they're like, "Who?" And he's like, Michael Jordan, here he is from da 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 Carolina, and the music gets all tense, and they're all shadow silhouette coming from the hallway. Out walks Michael B. Jordan, and I
Yeah,
was fucking dying, man. And they were like, "That's Michael B. Jordan. That's not Mike." That was the moment that got me. Like,
that is pretty funny, man.
that's funny. He was just like, "I'm just here for the popcorn. LeBron, I'm a big fan." You know, a little quick cameo. That was a funny moment throughout the whole film. And I actually had but other than that, man, it was an advertisement for HBO Max and the serververse. Well, their intellectual properties. I got a thing with children. A good is when a child can watch it and they're entertained for the movie. That's an okay children's movie. That did its job. A good children's movie is when you watch it and then the child grows up and there's nostalgia and you return to it. You can watch it as an adult every now and then. That's a good children's movie. And in my opinion, a great children's movie is for all ages. All ages can enjoy it and all ages can something like The Lion King, The Prince of Egypt, Toy Story, etc.
Oh man, I'll give you another one, bro. I'm gonna give you one that's a little bit. It was a little bit before our time, but I think you'll fuck with it, bro. I'm gonna give you another one, bro.
Which one?
The Brave Little Toaster.
Oh shit! I remember the Brave Little Toaster. Yeah,
That was
yeah,
Toy Story beta. You know what I'm
right,
saying? But
right.
I mean, I'm not mad because again, we can be objective, and I think people have a tendency. Like, bro, I had Space Jam on VHS. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure it's I'm sure it's in a crate somewhere at my mom's house. I loved that movie to the point where I think, you know what I'm saying, I watched that movie at least I've seen Space Jam at least 20 times in my life. Between watching it at school and watching it at home and at
Mm-hmm.
the Boys and Girls Club, I remember my brother had the Space Jam video game on PS1. And as
Mm.
funny as it sounds, that was the only game throughout the 90s where you could actually play as Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan on NBA Live and NBA Shootout and NBA Courtside was player number 98.
I never knew that.
Yeah, bro. He was player number 98 on the Chicago Bulls for like a good 4 years straight. You know what I'm saying? Space Jam was the only game where you could play as Michael Jordan, bro. I, I bullshit.
Jeez.
I bullshit you not. Like that's what time Michael Jordan was on. Like
Oh
I
shit.
remember that game on PS1, and it had like the mini game where you had to sneak around the room to get Michael Jordan's jersey and shorts
Mm.
and his tennis shoes and all of that shit. I remember that. But I'm not gonna sit here. I said it before. I'm gonna say it again. Space Jam was no cinematic classic. This was not Casa fucking Blanca. This was
Nah.
not The Godfather. This was not Heat. This was not The Usual Suspects. I could keep going and naming movies that have that place etched in stone. And Space Jam is not that movie. You know what I mean? So I was not among the cadre of people who were out with pitchforks and picket signs saying, not my Space Jam. Space Jam was a bad movie. Space Jam New Legacy was always gonna not be a great movie. I'm glad that it happened. I'm glad that LeBron was able to do that. If the kids who see this movie can enjoy it the way we enjoyed Space Jam back in the day, that's perfectly fine. But overall, bro, what's your rating on Space Jam New Legacy?
Space Jam New Legacy as an adult, it would probably be it'd probably be a 5. For a kid, might be a 6 or 7. It just took so long to get into the. It was like they could have cut 20, 30 minutes. I don't see
Mm-hmm.
the patience for a kid to get to the good stuff. And it just depends. Like you said, if a kid can get into it and buy the merch, and then who knows, 20 years later, have the same nostalgia for it as we do for the first one, cool. But it is a different age. The kids are interested in different things. And are they going to buy Toon Squad jerseys of this movie in 20 years, like we buy the Toon Squad jerseys from our, our age when we grew up on it.
Nope.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. So this is a 5 out of 10 for me. I think it's I think it'll entertain some kids, but I think it just took way too long to get to the actual game. And I'm not sure if Bugs Bunny and Looney Tunes are even relevant enough for them to even care to see this movie. I'll be honest.
Nope.
It's
And
it's
and
just
and I'm
bad
glad
timing.
that you mentioned that, because I just want to say one thing. I just want to mention one more thing in regards to what you were saying, and that this was like an advertisement for HBO Max and
Mm-hmm.
Warner Media here. We've reached that point where the nostalgia for I love Looney Tunes. You know what I'm saying? I could watch the Looney Tunes any day of the week, bro. I was
Yeah.
always entertained by that. I was always entertained by the Flintstones, Tom and Jerry. I always found that entertaining for some strange reason. But it's funny that you mentioned that there was like pop culture references and all of that. I'm gonna send you the YouTube video of this later on. But Warner Brothers has always been like self-referential in terms of the inside references. Like they did a fucking oh man, they did like one of those little clip joints they used to do on Looney Tunes where it was a bunch of Hollywood actors and they did parodies of them, right?
Hmm.
If I were to send you this YouTube clip, you wouldn't know who any of these actors are, but they did it for the express purpose of somebody knowing and being able to rely on the nostalgia of it. Nostalgia is getting, if it's not dead, it's already on life support. That kind of thing only matters to our generation, our age group. The Space Jam branding is already circling the drain as we know it. My brother's kids have not seen Space Jam. I guarantee it. I guarantee that they're not interested in watching Space Jam New Legacy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
like the
dude, good
fact,
points.
yeah, bro. Like the fact that you just told me that this movie is 2 hours. Like, no, no, absolutely not. No, I
Yeah.
have bro, Michael Jordan, for as great as Michael Jordan is and was, there was a lot of shit that was like helping him out in that first movie. We had Bill Murray, we had Wayne Knight, we had Seal fly like an eagle. We had, you know what I'm saying?
Killer soundtrack, right? He had a lot of help. He did. He did. He didn't try to carry the whole. No.
Bro, we had Charles Barkley, Patrick
Hmm.
Ewing, Sean Bradley, Larry Johnson, and Muggsy Bogues in that first movie, and Vladi Divac. Were there any other NBA players in this movie?
Yeah, there were some WNBA person in WNBA, and they basically did a goon squad, which was basically your new Monstar team. But they're not Hall of Fame players like a first movie. And
Nope.
they're basically, I mean, the goon squad was like a modern update. They were animal themed. They were like animal video game themed or element. So one was water, one was like fire, one was based on a snake, one was based on a bird.
Oh
One
man.
was like a robot that could control time and make time go slow. So you had almost like the Quicksilver segment done in the basketball game. Um, so yeah, man, like these kids, like we got those reruns on Cartoon Network, Looney Tunes. We did. We got those new episodes of Tiny Toons. There were still Looney Tunes games on the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. Tasmania Devil had a cartoon on
Man.
Kids WB. They had the Ac. You remember the Acme store, the Warner Brothers store? That was like the
Hell
Disney
yeah.
store with Looney Tunes and all these other had.
Rest
Um,
in peace to the Acme store.
oh man, dude, I remember seeing Bugs Bunny, like 12 feet tall Bugs Bunny and Daffy in the cover. You see the Acme logo, and you go there and just toys, all kinds of zaniness to keep your interest. Like Six Flags used to be the shit. Like, you go to the ice cream truck and there's a Bugs Bunny pops
with the bubblegum eyes.
Yeah, the bubblegum eyes, bro. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
man, it
man.
used to be relevant. It used teenagers, we still had the, those ghetto version of Bugs wearing baggy,
Yeah.
sagging with a backwards cap. You know
That
what I'm
was a
saying?
terrible era.
Smoking a blunt on a t-shirt.
Oh, that was terrible. That was terrible. Oh my good. You know what? We gonna get into that. We gonna get into that. That was. But you're right. You're right. You are absolutely right though, because all of that was a part of the nostalgia. Even if it
Right.
was fucking. Even if it was terrible. 2005 was a bad year. Oh my goodness,
You remember that
bro.
shit, dog?
Yeah, and I promise you, I assure you to this day, I ain't never wore none of that bullshit.
Dude,
I
I had a Mario Jane, I had a Looney, I had Bugs and Daffy sagging with backwards caps and gold chains on a shirt.
oh man, hold on, bro. What your pops tell you about that shit, man?
He didn't care, man. Oh man, he didn't care. I had Mario with diamond camo pink hoodie.
Oh my
With some I think some white some Air Force Ones or whatever, and he had a
oh my goodness.
but he kept his hat. He kept his red Mario cap. He kept
Bro,
that. That was on a hoodie. That was on my favorite hoodie, man.
oh my
Kind of hoodie
goodness.
dog.
Bro, listen, man. Listen, these motherfuckers used to be coming to school. These like dudes really used to be coming to school with airbrush. Oh, oh man, dudes used to be coming to school with airbrush t-shirts of Bugs Bunny holding with a grill, holding some money in his hands, dog. You know what I'm saying? Oh my
We used to
goodness.
go in those Korean shops, man. They had walls, walls of it, and we ate that
Oh
shit
man.
up.
Listen, you remember the did you ever see the Sugar Smacks t-shirt with the frog with oh my goodness,
See the
man.
Sugar Smacks one.
Yo, it was a Sugar Smacks joint, man, where the frog's eyes were like bloodshot red with a bowl of bud, man. Like, come on, dog. They were selling them motherfuckers for $35.99, man, in a triple X.
Triple, yeah, it had to come down to your freaking ankles for the most part.
Listen,
Um,
oh my goodness, bro. What the hell was going on,
shit,
man?
dude, that's just the era. That's the era we came from, you know. I mean, I wasn't a basketball person, but as a kid, I bought a Looney Tunes jersey. I bought a,
Yeah,
I fed into the marketing. I bought some action. I never got, I bought the VHS. I mean, we consumed that media, fans of it, and even to this day, 20 years later, I just bought a Toon Squad Bugs Bunny jersey for like 15.
yeah, man.
Had a
That's
good
the
time.
last. The thing is, I think this is it, man. I think that Space Jam New Legacy is really like the backdoor kind of send off for the Looney Tunes, man. I think it's over.
Mm. Yeah,
I think
yeah, I think so too, man. I don't see these kids like your nephews and your nieces rushing out
nope.
to see this or buying the toys. I mean, they're at Walmart. The toys and merchandise, um, the magazines, or whatever. The shoes. I think some of us are collecting. Of course, they have a collection of the shoes. I've seen like a Wally LeBron has his own one. Like certain characters have. It's not just Michael Jordan only has white and blue J's. Like they have like 4 or 5 different variations of shoes for the new movie.
Man,
Like that's our age group. We're buying that shit. It's not the younger kids that are eating this merchandise up. It's whoever's left of us that's eating this merchandise up. So
yep.
I think you're right.
Right.
It is kind of like a bittersweet uh, send off to the Looney Tunes franchise, man. I don't.
It's over, bro.
Or recovering even without this. It's a bygone era.
If I turn on the Looney Tunes, man, my niece is gonna ask me, Uncle, where's Todoroki?
Right. Where's Deku and Goku, Son Goku, right?
Yeah,
Naruto
bro.
and Sasuke and them.
Listen, so you said 6 out of 10?
uh, nah, it's a 5 out of 10. It's a 5 out of 10. I
All
don't
right.
see this shit. Alas, compare this to let's say Disney's Moana. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be a good movie. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm even just gonna kids movie I've seen
Okay.
a couple
So,
like Sonic the Hedgehog, whatever. So this would be a 5 out of 10.
mhm. So my last thought, my last word on this, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. To this day, however many years later, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is still the gold standard of
Mm.
live action combined with animation. That is yet to be touched. It is yet to be topped. And I don't see it coming down off that perch anytime soon. That's my last word on that, bro.
Oof,
Future
yeah,
movie of the week.
no doubt, man. Those are facts right there. You're saying
You
facts.
know, we could wrap it up right there. Quiet Place 2 review coming soon. This is the Behind the Scene podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. We are out of here.
Y'all be safe, be easy. We're out. Peace.